Good evening, my name's Caitlin, and this evening I'm going to talk to you about the dangers of smoking. This includes, tobacco smoking, like the new vape pens, and even recreational drug smoking. It's all bad for you. And but in this speech this evening, I'm going to talk to you mostly about smoking cigarettes and tobacco. We're told all the time how bad it is for you and what all it can lead to, and really though, we don't look deep and broad into it. We think about just, it's bad for you. But I work in the hospital, and we see lifetime smokers who have horrible, horrible issues with breathing, and they suffer from COPD and even just respiratory distress because they're not getting the adequate amount of oxygen they need. When we're doing an admission on a patient as well, we even ask them, do you smoke, or are you a former smoker? And if so, how much and for how long? And we get a various number of answers, anywhere from, well, I used to smoke, I smoke 1 pack a day, I smoke 3 packs a day, I've smoked for 6 months, I've smoked for 45 years. So and all of it is damaging. It doesn't matter the amount. Yes, it does, but it doesn't matter if you just started smoking, you're still doing damage initially, as if you were going to do damage 20 years from now. So exactly how bad is it? According to the CDC, cigarette smoke is the leading preventable cause of death in the United States, and this is over stuff like HIV and motor vehicle accidents, and even firearm incidents, shootings, which that's pretty high, and a lot of Americans smoke still to this day, even though we know how bad it is for us. The CDC also goes on to say that smoking causes 90% of lung cancers, that lead to death, which that's very obvious because when you smoke, the first thing you're damaging is your respiratory system. But not even just your respiratory system. In the human body, it affects almost all organs. Long-term use of tobacco can lead to stuff like coronary artery disease, which affects your heart, and lifetime smokers usually suffer from atrial fibrillation, which causes arrhythmias in your heart, and it has to be treated with medication. Cigarettes can also cause an increase in your risk of stroke, and stroke is one of the top 10 traumatic things that can happen to a person before even the age of 40. And small things that we don't think about, like if you're trying to conceive, smoking can affect a woman's fertility and the ability of getting pregnant. So it affects not just yourself, but your chances of growing a family. And when I talk to smokers or people I know that smoke, when we come up upon the conversation of why, I get numerous answers. It's a stress reliever, and life can get really stressful, and it's like your crutch. But there's also other ways to relieve stress, counseling or even exercise. Exercise releases endorphins, which relaxes your body, actually, and makes your body feel great. But something we see in young people is it's a social screen. People like to smoke when they drink, like in college. You see a lot of that with kids, but once you're addicted, it's a strong, strong habit to break, and it's really hard, and it usually requires treatment in order to break it. And some people even use it as a dieting mechanism, Smoking deadens your taste buds, which curbs your appetite, because if you don't have taste buds, why would you want to eat something? But also, diet and exercise isn't as life-threatening as smoking. And it's expensive. That's another big issue. Smoking is expensive. Everyday Health says a person could buy 5 houses with money spent on a lifetime of smoking and smoking-related health care. That's a lot of money. And you don't think about it because let's say an average pack a day is $5.50 and you buy it every week. Eventually it's going to add up and you don't think about it because you're so hooked to it and it's a crutch and it's a need for a person. And of course, cancer. Cancer is a big issue, throat cancer, and cancer can happen anywhere because of smoking. Smokers are more likely to form cancer than non-smokers anywhere in the body. That's not just the lungs. COPD and emphysema, which has no cure, is very likely later on down the road if you smoke on a regular basis. And their breathing treatments can help you in the moment, but then you're just going back to the respiratory distress and shortness of breath. But in conclusion, it's quite obvious that smoking is toll-taking not only on your wallet, but overall on your health. And I printed these pictures off for you guys. Here's a picture of, it's rolled up like a cigarette, but it's a $1 bill, and they're lighting it because, like I said, smoking is, of course, very expensive. And all these awful commercials we see on TV are by the CDC. And it says, a tip from a former smoker, don't tell people smoking is bad, show them. And here's that lady who has a trach site because her throat was resected because she had throat cancer. And she has to use like a robot up to her voice box in order to talk. So the best thing I can tell you is anyone who smokes, please stop and don't ever pick up the habit. Thank you.